I looked to my parents as to how they behaved in society, and being first-generation immigrants, they were pretty much, the standard model minority. They kept their head down, they did their work well, they were good neighbors, they were quiet people, and they didn't make a fuss. And so I think that intrinsically, this is sort of behavior that you copy as a child.
Many people think rape or assault just happens, but there's always kind of a prelude, and I would love to hear, what happened leading up.
I think many of the Harvey Weinstein survivors have spoken about a grooming process, blending the professional and the personal. For instance, for my role as his second assistant, it was one of my jobs to review scripts. He would come back in the late evening and he would discuss scripts with me. He would point to my race and he would allude to the fact that it made me more discreet or made me more able to keep secrets or some sort of cultural stereotyping. There's sort of I can do what I want to you and you're not really going to complain because you're a model minority, you're not going to tell anybody. And so in the context of someone who's a sexual predator, those comments about discretion, about secrecy and about Chineseness take on an insidious and rather chilling meaning.
We've talked a lot about how stereotypes attached to Asian women kind of affect us and how we're treated in society. I would love to get into how Asian culture, specifically the cultural concept of shame, impacts how we process certain things, and especially in your case, how you process the assault.
I think as a culture it becomes pretty hard to openly talk about very difficult subjects, bereavement, grief, depression, suicide, sexual assault. A lot of these topics, if they are of great emotional import, are kind of taboo to talk about. There's a sort of levels of taboo. If you're not even talking about sex between married people, you're not going to jump to talking about situations where your boss might be forcing sexual interaction upon you. Climbing through those layers of taboo as a young person, seems insurmountable. So when it came to the NDA, I felt bound by the NDA because in order to undo the NDA and to speak about it, I would have to climb through, talking about very difficult emotional topics with my parents, with my sibling, with my close friends from university, with whom, although we were close, we didn't have that situation where we talked about our sex lives.
Race is so central to your story, yet after your story came out, I think much of the coverage either erased your identity or kind of grouped you in with this larger umbrella term, POC. Why do you think that is?
It's just something that in society we still haven't fully developed a language around, and we haven't learnt how to talk about it well. If you are not East Asian, it's really difficult to understand what it is like to grow up East Asian and to talk about the sort of cultural silencing, the model minority issue, and so on and so forth. I can't imagine a world where we don't acknowledge it more directly and have people from different races speak more openly about our experiences, because without that we're all going to continue to be isolated in these little bubbles, and we're going to be suspicious of the other, because that's a basic human condition, a fear and suspicion of someone who's different from you.
Hey NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.